Welcome everyone to this quick video about Linux deploy and especially Linux deploy in 2023 on Android 13. So, there are many ways to run Linux systems or similar to Linux systems like Terramux and to run computer software on Android mobile phones. But I think Linux deploy is still the best option out there if your phone's rooted. If your phone's not rooted, I would say Terramux is the only way, and there you could even use some tools to get kinda root permissions even though you don't have root inside your Linux box. But in this tutorial, I just show you how to use Linux deploy on Android 13. So, Linux deploy wasn't updated for quite some time. Still, you can get it in the Play Store from the link below, or if it's not officially supported on your device anymore, you can just download it from Pure APK or other third-party sources. The only thing you need to run Linux deploy is an Android device, root permissions, and BusyBox. Currently, I'm just using a BusyBox module for Magisk. So I Magisk rooted and installed a BusyBox module. It's really simple, and if you don't know where to get it, just also search on YouTube. Maybe I will just create another video about all the Magisk tools I use. So, let's get started. As soon as you've installed Linux deploy, just open the app as I just did and go to the settings. Then I would suggest to use Ubuntu in the latest distribution suite because it's the only thing which I tried which really works. The other thing I tried before was Kali Linux in the rolling distribution, but somehow it has some errors which are not really easy fixable because in Linux deploy you cannot really interrupt the process. At least I don't know how. So just get Ubuntu and install whatever tools you need afterwards. So just select distribution Ubuntu, your architecture. You can easily figure this out online just by googling your phone model. But actually, most of the time nowadays, it's ARM64, so just try and only go to Google if it doesn't work. So, then the source, you don't need to change anything. And also for the installation type, I would prefer to use file. The path you can also just keep as it is, and the image size, I would say use a few gigabytes. I would say use at least 4 gigabytes, meaning 4000 megabytes. And then the file system should always be on ext4. And I would also suggest you to use root as the user, so you don't need to use sudo or anything else like that. So, if you create another user like Android, which is normally in there, he will be in the sudoers group, and you can just use sudo su, and then you have your root shell. But as we are running on an Android device either way, I would say you always use your Android phone without root in most apps. And if you want to do something specific on your VM, it's not really a VM, it's a change root system, meaning that it will still use normal Android kernel, but it will just load all the packages installed in your image file. So, everything else, just keep how it is. You can also mount your SD card or just the internal Android storage, but we will not look at this in this video. Then I would suggest you to enable SSH, enable pulse audio, but I don't know even if it works currently, and enable VNC-GUI. Here I would suggest you to Google how big is your screen resolution. So then you just take a quarter of it or half of it or some other diversion of the resolution, because everything will be quite big, and if you only use the DPI to set like bigger or smaller elements in applications, for example, also in Java applications, it will be a problem because they still will be very, very small elements to click. And if you just use the resolution, it should be no problem. So just lower it a bit, or yeah, I mean, if you would use an external display, sure, take your full resolution. So I always use screen 0 because I will then connect to the port 5900 to my phone. So the cool thing about this setup is there is a linux.emg file where you can install all the packages, and you can easily move this to a new phone. When you buy a new phone, and you also might upload this Linux EMG automatically in the background with your cloud app provider, like with your cloud storage provider, or maybe your own Nextcloud at home, you can easily do that and never lose your progress. So when you set it up first, you would in the beginning go to this 3 dots menu and click on install. It will run for some minutes, really also depending on your internet connection. And in the end, you would click on configure when everything's done before, and then it will install the few additional packages like mounting the SD card if you set it up, or installing the SSH, creating your user, configuring its password, and also enabling and starting the VNC service. After that, you can always just hit stop to stop the Linux change root system, so it will not run any processes in the background if you don't use it, so you have full like gaming performance, don't drain your battery or anything else. But if you hit start, and it will quickly show what it does. So it didn't start the extra SSH and VNC, it says skip. That means actually my image was already running in the background. So we'll just show you using stop and then start again, that this time it will run successfully. As you can see, starting graphics VNC done. So you can just connect like this. Just, configure any VNC app on your Android device, configure localhost or 127.0.0.1 with the port 5900. Use your username and password you defined before in the Linux Deploy app and hit connect. Now you would be prompted to select, for example, like how you want to configure your GUI. Like you can also define another GUI instead of XFCE, which I am using currently. Also, what I changed already is I updated to the latest Ubuntu version. This can be done using the normal do dist upgrade commands. I will link it down in the description so you can figure out how to get exactly the setup I have on my phone. So now the really cool thing, besides connecting using VNC and connecting using SSH, as you can see, I'm running on Ubuntu 22.04.2 LTS, and using the root user, I can just easily use all kind of Ubuntu tools, exactly the same as I would be on a Raspberry Pi. I will show you a quick example on what you're able to do. Okay, no, I will not show you because you would see a private email address of myself. So I cannot show you right now. I was thinking about starting a Java desktop application for hacking purposes, but there is like a license key in there, and there is, actually it's not really a problem. Let's open it up because it will not show everything. Yeah, okay, it actually does. International security providers, that key, whatever. I don't care. So, as you can see, I can just hit exploit pack.jar. It will launch a full-blown desktop Java application on my mobile phone. And also while it's doing this or doing anything else, I can also just close it and then like do whatever I want, take a call, like write some messages on WhatsApp or Telegram, and just hop in back when it's loaded. Doesn't look like it wants to open. Let's just hit it again. Okay, finally it was starting. Now I'm starting it the second time, whatever. So, this tool is a full-blown exploitation tool which is meant for a desktop device, which you can now run straight from your pocket. This IP address here is, okay, now it's opened twice. Never took so long to load before. So, as you can see, you can easily choose your IP address. Like these are only mobile networks. I'm not currently connected to a VLAN network. So you can just do whatever you like as if you were on a full Linux computer. If you have any questions or maybe some ideas for other videos I should create, just write me in the comments and I will get back to you. See you in the next video and goodbye.